There is a moment every car brand eventually reaches where it has to decide whether it wants to lead a lifestyle or chase one. And Subaru crossed that line years ago without most people even noticing. Long before overlanding became a hashtag and plastic cladding turned into a personality trait, Subaru was quietly building vehicles for people who actually left the pavement. That history matters because it explains why the 2026 Subaru Forester Wilderness exists and why it feels fundamentally different from the wave of off-road themed compact SUVs flooding the market right now. This is not a costume. This is a compromise vehicle built on purpose. And that makes it fascinating, frustrating, and very easy to misunderstand. Look around today and you will see Trail Editions, XRTs, Trail Sports, Rock Creeks, and X-Pros everywhere, all promising adventure with tougher names and chunkier tires. Most of them are trying to borrow Subaru's credibility without fully committing to the trade-offs that credibility requires. Subaru, on the other hand, leaned into those trade-offs so hard that it created a product many people will actively dislike on a test drive. And that is exactly the point. The Forester Wilderness is not built for everyone, and Subaru is unusually honest about that. Visually, the Wilderness doesn't just look different from a regular Forester, it looks purposeful. The ride height is raised by more than half an inch, which may not sound dramatic on paper, but changes the stance immediately. The tires are proper all-terrain Yokohamas, not mild all-seasons with a rugged name. Underneath, there is an actual aluminum skid plate protecting vital components. At the front and rear, functional recovery hooks announce that this vehicle is expected to get stuck occasionally, and more importantly, expected to get unstuck. Even the roof rails are overbuilt, rated to support up to 800 pounds when stationary, a number that exists specifically for rooftop tents and real gear, not marketing photos. All of that hardware gives the Forester Wilderness a credibility problem for competitors, because once you include it, you cannot pretend it has no consequences. Subaru did not try to engineer those consequences away. It accepted them. On loose surfaces, snow, dirt, gravel, and mud, the Wilderness feels alive in a way that few compact SUVs do. Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive allows the rear to rotate playfully under throttle when stability control is relaxed, and there is a sense that the vehicle is working with you rather than against you. This is the kind of behavior that makes experienced drivers smile and casual drivers feel like heroes. But the moment you bring the Forester Wilderness back to pavement and ask it to behave like a normal compact SUV, the compromises begin to surface immediately. Power is the most obvious one. The naturally aspirated 2.5-liter flat four makes 180 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque, numbers that were acceptable a decade ago and feel strained today. Moving nearly 3,700 pounds with that output requires commitment, patience, and a willingness to accept noise without acceleration. The 0 to 60 sprint takes 9.4 seconds, which is slow even by economy SUV standards, and nearly a full second slower than the already unhurried standard Forester. The continuously variable transmission does the engine no favors. Subaru programs artificial shift points to make it feel more like a traditional automatic, but the result is oddly unpleasant. The shifts feel both stretched and abrupt at the same time, creating a sensation that the powertrain is constantly negotiating with itself. There's no moment where it feels relaxed under hard acceleration, and no moment where it feels refined. This is not broken engineering. This is simply the byproduct of asking an aging powertrain to do work it was never designed to do in a heavier, taller, more aggressive configuration. What makes this harder to ignore is the absence of a hybrid option. Subaru already builds a Forester hybrid. It already builds a Forester Wilderness. It does not build a Forester Wilderness hybrid, and the gap feels intentional. A hybrid would solve many of the on-road complaints instantly, adding torque, smoothing response, and improving efficiency. But it would also raise the price, add complexity, and likely push the Wilderness out of its niche. Subaru appears to understand that the buyer willing to accept these compromises may not be the same buyer who prioritizes fuel economy above all else. Handling and braking further reinforce the theme. The all-terrain tires do not ruin braking performance, but they do not help it either. The Wilderness needs 118 feet to stop from 60 miles per hour, a few feet more than other Forester trims, and enough to be noticeable in repeated stops. In corners, the limitations are obvious. Turn-in is slow, grip falls away early, and the front tires protest immediately when pushed. The raised suspension contributes to a feeling that the vehicle is perpetually unsettled on undulating pavement, requiring multiple oscillations to regain composure after larger bumps. This sense of looseness is amplified by the seats. While comfortable, they lack lateral support, allowing occupants to slide during aggressive maneuvers. The result is a driving experience that feels tall, soft, and slightly disconnected on road, especially compared to competitors that prioritize on-road manners above all else. For many buyers, this will feel like a flaw. For the intended buyer, it is simply the price of admission. And then you step inside, and the Forester Wilderness reminds you why Subaru still has such a loyal following. The cabin is one of the most open and airy spaces in the segment. The tall greenhouse provides exceptional sightlines in every direction, a rarity in modern vehicles obsessed with rising belt lines and narrow windows. Visibility is outstanding, not just forward, but rearward and over the shoulders, making tight trails and urban parking equally stress-free. The copper accents unique to the Wilderness trim give the interior a distinctive identity without feeling juvenile. Wilderness branding is everywhere, from the seats to the door panels to the headrests, and yet it avoids feeling like overcompensation. The synthetic leather upholstery with copper stitching looks and feels more premium than expected at this price point, and the durability is clearly chosen with outdoor use in mind. Muddy clothes, wet gear, and daily abuse feel less intimidating in this cabin than in softer, more fragile interiors. Space is another strength that carries over from the Forester's unconventional proportions. Headroom is exceptional front and rear, and legroom is generous enough that even very tall passengers can sit in the back seat for long trips. This practicality is not glamorous, but it is deeply appreciated by owners who actually use their vehicles for travel, gear hauling, and long days outdoors. The problem, if it can be called that, is that these strengths are not exclusive to the Wilderness. Every Forester benefits from excellent visibility, generous space, and solid ergonomics. What the Wilderness adds is capability that will only be used occasionally by most buyers, while subtracting refinement that is experienced every single day. That is the fundamental tension at the heart of this vehicle. In a crowded field of off-road styled compact SUVs, the Forester Wilderness stands apart because it does not pretend to be something else. Vehicles like the Honda CR-V Trail Sport, Hyundai Tucson XRT, Kia Sportage X Pro, Nissan Rogue Rock Creek, and Mitsubishi Outlander Trail Edition offer visual cues and light hardware changes, but few go as far as Subaru does in altering the vehicle's core behavior. The Wilderness does not just look tougher, it is tougher, and toughness has consequences. Pricing reinforces that this is a deliberate choice. With a base price just under $40,000 and a tested price climbing past $42,000, the Forester Wilderness is not a bargain play. You are paying real money for real hardware, not decals. For buyers who will never leave the pavement, that money would be better spent elsewhere. For buyers who regularly encounter snowed-in trailheads, washed-out roads, or remote campsites, it may be worth every dollar. The 2026 Forester Wilderness is not trying to win comparison tests. It is not trying to dominate spec sheets. It is not trying to impress first-time test drivers. It is trying to serve a very specific customer who understands exactly what they are giving up and exactly what they are gaining. That customer values traction over acceleration, visibility over sharp handling, and durability over polish. Subaru's mistake, if there is one, is not in building this vehicle, but in trusting that buyers understand themselves well enough to choose it correctly. Many will be drawn to the image without accepting the reality. Those buyers will complain about the power, the handling, the ride, and the noise. The buyers who truly belong in this vehicle will quietly put tens of thousands of miles on it, far from pavement, far from cell service, and far from internet arguments about quarter-mile times. The Forester Wilderness is a reminder that specialization still matters in an industry drifting towards sameness. It is proof that compromise can be a feature, not a failure, when it is honest. And it is a vehicle that will never be loved by the masses, but will be deeply appreciated by the few who use it exactly as intended.